Hey, and welcome back to Millennial Thermom. Today I wanted to share a little message to those first time mamas out there who maybe have been used to this productivity, hustle, grind lifestyle. They've gotten all the degrees, or they've had all the jobs, or they've climbed the ladders, and now they're stepping into motherhood. I specifically wanted to make a video for y'all because I know, as somebody whose worth used to be, and I'm still untangling from, worth used to come from striving and performing, becoming a mother really tested me in those areas, and I'm reading a lot more, I'm learning a lot more about this transition into motherhood, and this is one area that I think if we can do the processing in this season of our life, the rest of our motherhood journey hopefully is a little kinder to us. I do think that there are certain expectations that not only society places on us, especially if you're a woman of color, like you have to be the tippity top best of the best, or you're perceived as lazy, or whatever, all these other like stereotypes and microaggressions that happen. And then so you learn to kind of work with the system, run just as fast as everybody expects you to run, if not run faster, right? So that you can get that promotion. You have, like I said, you have to be excellent sometimes when you're a woman of color, a person of color in the States. So you become a mom, and then all of a sudden latching is really hard, feeding is really hard, the sleep is really hard, not being productive is really hard. And a lot of us have a struggle with just resting, and like we just gave birth, a lot of us just gave birth, and yet this internal like clock of like, I need to do this, I need to do that, just doesn't stop. And that's because of a lot of us don't have that practice with slowing down, resting, breathing, asking for help. So to those mamas out there who feel me on this level, I did want to just share a couple of activities that I actually learned in this book, which definitely a good book. I recommend it for a trimester. I'm not sponsored, but I've been reading it, and I just want to share some of the tidbits. One of them is leaning into this concept of rest. So one practice that I thought was really cool is that you literally set a timer, have somebody set a timer for you where 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, you just sit. No phone, no nothing. Ideally, if you can sit outdoors, that's nice, but just let your body relax and rest for 5 minutes. You don't even have to like do anything fancy. You just sit. And I know it sounds kind of weird. When I read it, I was like, but honestly, I tried it and I struggled. I was like, I can't, I need to go do this, I need to go do that, and I literally had to force myself to just sit. So I think this is a practice that, whether you are anticipating your first baby, second baby, third baby, or you're in the trenches of postpartum, or you're years out, I think we could all benefit from learning how to rest and let our bodies catch up, right? I think I heard someone, let your soul catch up to your body, because we are used to grinding and working so hard, especially in this society that expects so much, and we can just get so easily distracted into our phones, into producing. So that's the number one activity I want y'all to just try, because I do think that we live in a generation of burnt out parenting, where parents aren't giving enough space or skills to manage the stressors of life, and a lot of that too has become now internalized. So then we feel lazy, quote unquote, if we're not doing, or we feel bad. And I think just sometimes you just have to stop, just rest, and it gets easier, So that's one activity, I would say practice. Another one I thought that was helpful was this idea of learning how to ask for help. I personally, I didn't even realize how bad I was at asking for help till like postpartum, where I was juggling baby, trying to mix this, trying to do that, and then my husband was like, hey, do you want help with that? Like, why don't you ask me for help? And I literally was like, what? It didn't even cross my mind. And when you're sleep deprived, you're probably not thinking about that. So this could be in just asking for little small favors if you feel a little bit uncomfortable asking for help. So it's like, could you drop off a meal? Could you walk my dog? Could you just something small, a ride somewhere? and then just not feeling well, you're gonna feel the impulse to maybe reciprocate or say like, I owe you so much, but just graciously receiving the help and saying, thank you so much, I appreciate it, period. That's, you don't need to go into this, oh my gosh, I owe you my life and you're the best. No, just thank you so much, I appreciate it. I almost choked there. So I think that is a really good skill. Again, this will add to the burnt out parenting prevention, because a lot of us burn out because we also aren't used to asking for help, delegating, letting other people take control sometimes. So that's number 2. And number 3 is catching your inner voice. So let's say you're postpartum and you're sitting down with your baby and you feel bad. Like, you just know that you feel bad, and you kind of start noticing, like, what is my inner voice telling me? It could be that your inner voice is like, you're so lazy right now, like you should be doing this and this, and either just doing a voice note to try to catch that, so you can just like grab your phone and be like, I don't know why I'm feeling this way, maybe it could be this or could be that, growing up, whatever, and that kind of helps you see like certain patterns and where they could be coming from. And then the second part is like talking back to that voice and finding an alternative way to think about it. So you could just say, talk back to that voice and say, I'm not being lazy. Right now, I'm doing enough. Like, feeding my baby is enough. Taking care of my baby is enough. I am enough. I don't need to be productive. Or I am already being productive. So whatever that looks like, and slowly but surely, I like to think about our brain as, we tend to go down one road, let's say autopilot, right? Especially for a lot of us that drove to one place for work. Like, we didn't have to think twice sometimes. We just got there and was like, whoa, how did I get here? And that's how there are certain like pathways in our brain, like we automatically get there. So for me, maybe something would be like, when you're not doing anything, you're being lazy. When you're not doing anything, you're being lazy. And you start to change that mindset by catching it. First, you have to be aware of it, right? Which is where the journaling comes in. You become aware of it, you write it down, you hear it out, and you're like, that's not really healthy for me to hold on to this. And you start catching it and say, nope, I'm not being lazy. I am being enough. I am mothering. I am resting. Rest is productive. Whatever it is that you need to tell yourself. And now anytime you start catching yourself going down this way, you can say, nope, detour. And eventually, this will be more automatic. And I say start this early, because there are going to be parts of motherhood that will test you, or parenthood that will test you. And if you kind of are able to take and embrace this challenge now, I think this will set you up for success future down the road. I am in there with you too. I am 9 months postpartum as of a couple of days ago. So I'm saying this now. I guess we'll have to see in a few years if like it made a big difference. But honestly, I do, just working with parents and working with families for so many years, I do think that there are certain things that we can start as soon as we catch them. Prioritizing rest, asking for help, and catching that inner critic. If we can start with those 3 things, that will be huge. And then you can pass that on generationally. So I'm excited for y'all to try that. We'll stay posted on more things that are coming up soon, but make sure that you join the Millennial Theramom community to just get more resources, keep updated on events and all that kind of stuff for education and support in the postpartum period. All right, take care.